Good morning, everyone. My name is Don Daniel, founder of P.I.L.L Method International, a better way to eliminate debt. And for 19 years now, we have been advocating for consumers because we've been paying 75% more interest than we need to. We're going to get into leverage today. P.I.L.L stands for prepayment of principal, isolating the principal amount, leverage, and liquidity. So for the last few weeks, we focused on the history of lending. Then we understood the next week, we went over prepayment of principal, then isolating the principal amount. And now this week is leverage. So if you missed those other shows, go to our YouTube channel, subscribe, and you'll be able to watch those shows as a replay. All right. And I also want to announce that next week's show will not be live. Next week's show will not be live because I will be on a cruise. So we've been accumulating all these Amex points. So last week we were in Virginia Beach. And so this next week we're going to be on a Caribbean cruise. All right. So I want to make sure everybody comes in. So let's go ahead and start the show. Here is our theme music. All right. So, let me put that back up. And today's show is on leverage, learning how to leverage your funds so you can save more interest and pay off debt faster. All right, let's go. Good morning. All right, let's go ahead and get started this morning. All right, my name is Don Daniel, founder of P.I.L.L Method International. We are going to go over some things today. I need to put some things on the screen right away. And the reason why we need to understand all of this is because, let me put this on the screen for you right now, okay? Add to the screen. There we are. And it is the interest rates today. 30-year fixed. It's creeping back up, ladies and gentlemen. It's at 7.122%. That's as of today. All right. Now, when we look at interest rate, we get confused. All right. And we think we have to pay what's going on here, and we do not. We can pay a lot less interest. I don't care about interest rate. This is the main thing that we're going to be talking about today. Leveraging what you have so that you can buy more for less. You do not have to pay all of that interest. In fact, if you can afford your payments, listen, I want you to get this from me right now. If you can afford the mortgage payments and you have a 7% loan, don't you dare refinance when it goes down to 5.5. Don't dare. Okay, because what we're going to teach you is how to read an amortization schedule and how to make the most of these interest rates so that you can control interest cost. There's a difference between interest rate and interest cost. And for our folks that are on the stage, I'm watching 4 screens right now. And if you have something you want to say, interrupt me and open up your mic and ask your question. Just say, Don, I have a question. Don't wait for me to stop talking. Okay, Denise. Okay, one and only. Okay, Michelle, because I appreciate you. And anybody else that's new to the room, please come to the stage and make sure you're watching what we're doing on YouTube. Go to the YouTube link on a secondary device so that you can watch what we're doing. I need to show you something here. Okay. Here is a 420. Thank you very much for coming up. All right. Invite to speak. There you go. All right. All right. Let's see here. Who do we have here? Very mindful. Okay. I'll keep it at that. Listen, if would you like to say something this morning? You don't have to. Very mindful. Okay, that's okay.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Good.
Hi, one and only. Thanks for inviting me.
Hello, hello.
Hi.
That's my sister. I brought her in.
Hi,
Yes, you
sister.
did. Hi, Ice. Thank you. Thanks, one and only. Okay, bye.
Okay, listen, I need people to watch. I need people to look at the screen right now. All right, because this is where everything starts. Learning how to read an amortization schedule. And guess what? No one I know of has ever had a class on how to read an amortization schedule and how to work it in their favor. No one I've ever met. I don't care if they are a real estate agent, if they sell mortgages, if they're a CPA, if they're a financial planner. I don't care what they do in finance. They don't learn how to read and understand an amortization schedule to get their license. It's not happening, and neither have you until today. The P.I.L.L method is the only organization that teaches this right now in the world. Okay. In fact, we have put together a course that we're going to start teaching around the country that goes into this thing deeply. It takes 6 days to complete the course. Okay, so I want to show you some of the things that you're going to get in this course. Let's learn some of the basics and then we'll get into leverage. All right, so one and only, are you ready?
Yep, I am.
Can you see? Are you in a position to see the numbers?
Not really, but I'm trying to listen in and get ready for work too.
Okay, so you need to make sure you watch the replay on this. Okay,
Sure.
I'll try to paint a word picture for you as best I can. All right, so here's what we have. We have a $420,000 mortgage on the screen. Okay. I got a buzz. I got a buzz in my system. I got to get rid of that. Hold on. There we go. Nope, it's back. I got to get rid of that. There we are. All right. So $420,000 mortgage at 7% for 30 years. Our payment is $2,794.27. That is just the principal and interest. We're not talking about taxes and insurance that people add into their mortgage right now, because the taxes and insurance have nothing to do with paying down the mortgage. Let me show you what the bank wants if you keep their money for 30 years at 7%. On a $420,000 loan, they want you to pay them $585,937.20 in interest. How in the world is $585,000 7% of $420,000? Well, it's not. It's not. By the time you're through paying for your $420,000 house, here's what they want you to pay for it: $1,005,937.20. I just want to ask everybody who's watching me online, okay? I want you to also tell me where you're watching us from. If you're watching us on YouTube, or Facebook, or LinkedIn, I want you to tell me where you are watching from, okay? Because right now, we're going to understand that what the bank wants from you is 100, watch over here to the left, 139.5% of what you borrowed. The 585,000 is 139.5% of 420,000. In other words, more money in interest than you borrowed in principal. How would you like to know how to cut that by 2/3, 75% off? just by knowing exactly what to do. Now, I'm going to give you some insights into saving interest. Okay, Jamie. Okay, I see you. I see you. Says Jamie says, Don, I need to have a talk with you directly. All right. All right. I want to take your coaching. All right. So, all right. So, Jamie, here, let me go ahead and put our number in the chat here. It is 256-886-1867. There you go. Call the office and let them know you want me to call you back. All right. And we'll set you up with a coaching program. Okay. All right, folks, let's go ahead. If you're new to the room, come to the stage. Come to the stage if you're new to the room and click on the link so you can watch these numbers. Now, I'm going to scroll down and show you how ridiculous this information is. Let me get rid of, I didn't want to do that. I want to stay here. I wanted to get rid of this advertising, but I don't know how. All right. So let's go ahead. Out of the money that you're supposed to pay, and the total interest, total principal and interest is $2,794.27. Do you know when you make that first payment, only $344.27 is applied to principal and $2,450 is applied to interest? Your payment is discounted by $2,400. It's gone, up in smoke. Do you see why it takes so long to pay off a mortgage when your mortgage payment is discounted by $2,400? Let me show you what the exact percentages are. Okay, so what we're going to do is, let me see. They've fixed this thing, so I can't stand that. I'm sorry, folks. I got to redo this, duplicate this tab, and let me see if it'll allow me to get rid of the advertising. No. Oh, man. Anyway, so here we go. We're going to break this thing down and show you the percentages. Okay. So if you have a interest payment, okay, of $2,400, let's see, $2,450, okay, is your first interest payment. $2,450, you divide it by your entire payment, okay, which is $2,794.27. Okay. 80, so it comes to 0.876. So because this third number is a 6, we have to round that 7 up to an 8. So 88% of your payment is interest. 88%. That means 12% of your money is paying down the loan. 88% of your money is going to investors. Isn't that ridiculous? Did you realize we can turn that around? And once we learn to turn it around, ladies and gentlemen, we are well on our way to learning how we can save some interest by watching what we're doing today. But we're also going to learn how we can save the most interest that's mathematically possible for you by using our AI system that crunches all of your numbers and guides you to financial health one step at a time using computers. I'm telling you, it is the most fantastic thing out there right now, helping people with their finances. Okay, let's get into this right now. So watch this. Okay, so we're going to put our calculator on the screen. And now let me put this let me give you this example. When 88% of your money is being taken away when you make a payment, just think about the fact that you're going to buy gas for your car. All right. And every gallon you put in there, all right, is discounted by 88%. 88%. That would mean the 40 if it takes $40 to fill up your tank, okay, and only 12 cents is being 12 cents worth of gas is put in your car for every dollar you put in. So let me do a little bit of math here. Okay. So if we have $40 and we divide it by 12 cents, 0.12. Uh-oh, I clicked the wrong thing. $40 divided by 0.12. It would take $333 to fill up your tank. If your payments, if you went to the gas pump, and just because you were at the gas pump and you put that, you would take $333 to fill up your gas tank if every dollar you put in was discounted by 88%. That's what's happening with your mortgage. Okay, whether it's 7% or 6%, the amounts of money are different, but the effect is the same. It's going to take you 30 years to pay off a loan. Can I ask you another question? When we were on vacation, when we went to Dubai, I saw my first McLaren, okay, a $200,000 sports car. I saw my first McLaren. $200,000 for a car. If you were to buy that car today and you say, listen, I want to take out a loan for this car. All right. I don't have $200,000 to plop down on the car. I want to pay for it over time. So do you realize that you can only get 7 years to pay that off? 7 years to pay off a $200,000 car. Yeah. But when you turn things around, how come it takes 30 years to pay off a $200,000 house? Why is that? Have you ever thought about that? You can't get a 30-year mortgage on a car. You can't get it. It has to be paid off in 7 years. Then why don't we start treating our houses more like cars? Because we have not been taught to. I'm going to give you the basics today. Watch this. So if we were to take a look at our very first payment here, where $344.27 goes to principal, and you're discounted 88%, or $2,450 is applied to interest payments. Okay, let's call that January's payment. So February's principal payment on line 2 would be $346.28. Well, guess what? If February's principal payment is $346.28, let me ask you a question, and I'm looking for answers for people to put it in the chat today. Okay, I'm looking for answers. Put it in the chat. Do you have to wait till February to give the bank $346.28? Okay, I'm waiting for the answer. Go ahead and put your answers in the chat. If you have it available, do you have to wait? Put a yes or a no or a Y or an N in the chat today. Do you have to wait to give the bank $346.28 after you make your first payment? Do you have to wait to the next month? Okay, one and only says no. You do not have to wait. Thank you for that. Okay, so let me show you. Stacy Johnson online says no. Okay, Stacy Johnson online says no. All right, thank you very much for that, Stacy. Now, let me show you what happens when you don't wait. If you have this money sitting in your bank account, it's probably making 0.1%. That's number one. Okay, Now, once you prepay that, this is called a prepayment because you're giving it to the bank before they're expecting it. That's why it's called a prepayment. Let's go ahead and give that to the bank in January. Guess what? All of this money goes to principal. You're paid down to line 2, where you owe $419,309.45. You're paid down to line 2 in January. Okay? Michelle says, yes, you do. No, you don't, Michelle. You can prepay any amount that you want on a mortgage. Okay, it's written in your contract. If that's what you're talking about, is that what you're thinking, Michelle? But we're going to show you that you don't have to wait. It is called a prepayment. You can prepay your loan. So let's give the bank this $346.28 early. Let's see what happens when we do. Okay, so we are subtracting this. Now we're paid down to here. Now let's take a look at the math that it takes for the bank to charge you interest. So now that you're paid down to here, they have to use this number to charge you interest for the next month. Let's see how they do that. So our interest rate is 7, all right? And what they do is take the interest rate and divide it by 12. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. We take the interest, which is 0.07, divide that by 12, and this is the number we get. 0.0058 and a bunch of threes after it. We take this number and multiply it by the principal balance on line 2, which is 419,000 times 419,309.45 equals 2,445.97. That's exactly the interest cost on line 3. So what did we just find out? If I give the bank this $346.28 early, I skip right over line 2 and go directly to line 3 as my February payment. So in other words, payment number 1 is now touching payment number 3. By giving them the $346.28 early, I just saved one whole payment off this 360-month loan. I have turned it into 359 monthly payments. Watch this. And since that whole line is gone, I just saved $2,447.99 in interest I never have to pay. These interest payments you don't have to pay. You just need to learn how to give money to the bank in a way that saves you interest. Does that make sense, everybody? Do you like that today? All right. And listen, if you like that information, put a number 9 in the chat. Put a number 9 in the chat if you like that information. Okay. I'll tell you, listen, watch this. Miss MC says 9. Watch this. If you make your payment on line 1, and let's say you give the bank $346.28, $348.30, and $350.33. All right. Mindful says, please go over that last part one more time. Listen, folks, if you ask me, I will do it. Here is what, let's go over this last part one more time. It matters how much you owe when the bank does its calculation. Okay. These principal payments have to be subtracted from what you owe. So let's do it a little slower this time. We're starting out with $420,000. That's how we start. If you're new to the room, come to the stage. Please, I need everybody on the stage. All right. I have 3 people on the stage, 3 brave souls that are learning from the stage. Come to the stage, and then you can learn from the stage. Besides, when you do that, more people come in. All right. If you want to help more people learn this, you don't even have to invite them. You just come to the stage here on Clubhouse, and you will learn more about this. Okay. Now watch this, everybody. $420,000 is what we owe right now. And out of the first payment, only $344.27 is applied to principal. So we subtract $344.27 equals $419,655.73. So that's what you see on line. That's what you see on line 1 here. If we give the bank the $346.28 early before the next payment, that's why it's called a prepayment, they have to subtract that too. So if we subtract another $346.28, look what that does. Now we're down to $419,309.45. That's exactly what we have on line 2. All right. Does that make sense, everybody? Okay. All right. Very mindful. I hope that makes sense. So what we're doing is we're giving it to them early, and it's bringing down what we owe. So if we bring down what we owe, the bank has to use this number to figure out how much interest we owe now instead of the one on line 2, on line 1. So when we do that again, we take our interest rate, 0.07, divide that by 12, equals this, 0.0058 and a bunch of threes. We multiply it by our 419,309.45 because that's where we are. Multiply it by 419,309.45. Okay. Our new interest cost is $2,445.97, and that's on line 3. So we skip a line, and this is our next mortgage payment is on line 3 now. We just got rid of one line. So very mindful. Thank you for your question. And one and only, watch this. If we do this, what would happen if we made our very first payment here, look into our bank account? Oh, we can afford to give them $346 early, $348.30, and $350. Okay. Oh, about, I don't know, about $1,050. Okay. Just about, it's $1,038. Okay. Or so. If we give them this much money ahead of time on line 1 in January, guess what? We eliminate this interest payment, this interest payment, and this interest payment. So if we give them the principal payment on line 2, 3, and 4, that drops us down to line 5 for February's payment. And we just killed like almost $7,500 in interest we never have to pay. You give the bank an extra $1,000 and it saves you $7,500 in interest. That's a great return on your money, is it not? Listen, folks, I need to know, has anybody ever explained how a mortgage works like this to you before? All right. Other than the P.I.L.L method. If you're new to the P.I.L.L method, has anybody ever explained this to you, how a mortgage actually works? If go ahead and tell me yes or no. Has anybody ever explained this to you? Yes or no. Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. I need everybody that's on Clubhouse to come to the stage. Please come to the stage. It says very mindful. It says not this detailed. Okay. Very mindful. Watch this. Listen, if you haven't seen this before, you're going to love this next part. Okay. AK King says only the P.I.L.L method. All right. I need you to take a look at cumulative principal and cumulative interest. The reason why I use this as a training method, all right, when I use Brett Whistle, this is brettwhistle.net. This is not my program. All right. This is somebody that has created this thing online, and I use it as a teaching tool. When you get an amortization schedule from your bank, it will not include cumulative principal and cumulative interest. Because it doesn't, the bank does not want you to know when you make all of your payments, how much money has gone to principal and how much money has gone to interest. All right. Jonathan Bing in the building. What? Come on, Jonathan Bing. Wayne, come on up to the stage, man. Come on up. All right. Thank you for being so brave. All right. Let's invite him up to speak. All right. Wayne, come on up. I need everybody on the stage. Listen, folks, you can learn from the stage just as well you can in the audience, especially all of you with the pink tickets down at the bottom. Please raise your hand, come to the stage. All right. And Wayne, we tried to invite you up. Jonathan, can you bring him up? AK wants to come up. Let me see if I can bring him up. Okay. AK, come on up. Wayne, I'll try one more time to invite you up. AK, I see you, brother. I see you. All right. Everybody's coming up. That's what I like to see. That's exactly what I like to see. Now, when you get this part, you're going to love it. After 1 year on this loan, okay? Here's what I need you to see. I need you to focus in on this. In fact, I'm going to move myself away from, I'm going to take my camera down right now. Just remove myself out of here. All right. Do you see that? I wanted you to just kind of focus in on that. After 1 year on this mortgage, you pay it down by $4,266.41. That's all the principal payments added up. And all the interest payments added up, starting at $2,450 all the way down to line 12, where it's $2,427.25. All of that adds up to $29,264.83. Ladies and gentlemen, I have just got one question to ask you right here. Do you think it should cost you $29,000 in interest just to pay your mortgage down by $4,266? Put it in the chat, yes or no. Put it in there right now. I need you to work with me today. All right. It should not cost $29,000 to pay your loan down by $4,266. The reason why this is not taught in 8th grade, okay? Let me share this with you. There's a reason why this is not taught in 8th grade. All right? There's a reason why. And I'm going to share that reason with you right now. Okay? Do we want to teach this in 8th grade? Yes, we do. And here's why. If I'm going to pay this loan down by $4,266.41 in 12 months, let me ask this question. Do I have to take 12 months? Do I have to take 12 months? Am I required to take 12 months to give the bank $4,266.41? Am I required to do that? Or if I had it, could I give the bank this $4,266.41 up front on line 1? Yes or no? If I had it, could I give it to the bank on line 1, $4,266? Yes or no, people? I need an answer from you. Yes or no? Do I have to wait? Can I give that to them early? Wow. I need you to be thinking about this, okay? If you had it, You could give it to the bank early. Let's just do the math. We start out at $420,000. Wayne Massey says, yes, we could give it to them early. Come on. Very Mindful says, yes, we could give it to them early. How about, okay, I've got some people online, okay, that's saying, let's see here. They say yes, okay. So it says, what is this schedule called again? It's called an amortization schedule. And this one belongs to a guy named Brett Whistle, B-R-E-T. I'll put it in the chat, okay? B-R-E-T W-H-I-S-S-E-L. All right? Brett Whistle. You can just Google the guy's name, okay? Because I use it all the time. And I'll put it over here on Clubhouse as well. Okay, we'll paste it in there. Brett Whistle. All right. And we're going to send that over to you guys as well. Okay, Brett Whistle, and send it. There it is. So you can do some of these yourself by watching my videos and then recreating some of these examples. Okay. All right. You listen, if you did this at a party, do you know everybody would be over there looking at you and talking to you if you show them the things that I'm getting ready to show you now? Just watch this video over, learn how to do this with a calculator on your phone or even print it out. My gosh, you'd be the hit of the party, okay? All right, so watch this. So if we gave the bank this $4,266.41 early, we can just subtract that, couldn't we? Let's subtract $4,266.41, not over 12 months with $350 payments, but all at one time. Okay, so that equals, thank you very much, AK King, for putting the link in there for me. Okay, so that equals $415,733.59. So in other words, that's exactly what you see here on line 12. If you want to see this, folks, you need to be on YouTube. Oh, by the way, when you get to YouTube, will you subscribe to the channel? Okay, because this is actually our 4th season on here. And people tell me all the time, this is your 4th season and I'm just now finding out about this. Oh my gosh. All right. So we're at $415,733.59, not over 12 months, but we are there in 1 month. What? We get down here in 1 month. So what does that mean about all the interest payments from line 2 to line 12? Does that mean we just skipped over them? That's interest you don't have to pay? Can I put it this way? Because I just get so excited. I want to say it as many different ways as I possibly can so you can get this. If you give the bank this $4,266.41 their way in 12 monthly installments, it will cost you, they will discount your payment. In other words, you will give them a total of 12 months. Watch this, $29,264.83 plus the interest portion, which is $4,266.41 equals $33,532.24 in 1 year. And out of that 1 year of $33,532.24 that you just gave them, only $4,266.41 is applied to principal to pay your loan down out of $30-some thousand, out of $33,500. That's a sobering thought. 33 grand. And all you get out of it is $4,200. Oh my gosh. That's ridiculous. It shouldn't cost $29,000, but if you had it, now I'm not saying everybody does. I'm just using this as an example. I'm not saying this is what you should do. I'm just saying if you had it, watch this. If I gave this to the bank in 1 month, everybody that's new, click on the link above, watch what we're doing here on YouTube. You can see the numbers. Okay. You can see the numbers. Give the bank the $4,200 early. You're paid down to line 12 in 1 month and it won't cost you $29,000 in interest. It will only cost you $2,450 in interest from line 1. What? Folks, if you're going to give the bank $4,200 on this mortgage, would you rather give them $42,450 in interest or $29,264.83 in interest when you don't have to? That is a $26,000 savings. $26,837.58. Has anybody ever explained this to you? Why in the world would we ever keep having our payments discounted by over 80% when we don't have to? Man, oh man, oh man. I get so excited every time I come in here and teach this. All right. So raise your hand, come to the stage, have more people come in. Listen, if you're on the stage right now, if you have a question, open up your mic and ask it. If you have a comment, open up your mic and make it. Okay. Right now. All right. If you don't have anything to say, that's quite all right, because I appreciate you being in here. And in fact, if you are watching us on YouTube, you want to come into the studio audience, I'm going to give you a link so that you can come into my studio audience right online right now. Let's put this on here. Okay. There is the link for StreamYard. You can come into StreamYard. All right. When you click on the link, make sure that you can copy it and you can put that into your browser and use Chrome. It works better on Chrome. It's going to ask you, do you want to go back to YouTube or do you want to come into StreamYard? Don't go back to YouTube. Come into StreamYard. You can come right into my studio and ask questions. You do not have to be on camera if you don't want to. You can leave the camera off and your audio would come in and you can ask questions directly. I love questions. So if you have a question today, ask your question. If you're sitting in the audience today, raise your hand, come to the stage, and you will bring more people in. All right. I see you, Jacqueline. I see you, Dale. I see Cordia. I listen. I see you, Leandra. Listen, I'm so glad that you're here today. Now, can I show you, if you understand the P.I.L.L method, if you use our system, let me give you an example of what could happen when you optimize interest savings using this methodology of what we call interest cancellation. Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you. I forgot a question to ask. If I give the bank this money up front and save over $20,000 in interest and I pay down to line 12 in 1 month, my next mortgage payment is on what line of this schedule? Anybody that's watching this, in the first month, I give the bank $4,266.41 on top of my regular payment. I'm paid down to line 12. My next mortgage payment is on what line of this schedule? Can anybody tell me? Put it in the chat. Okay. Online or in Clubhouse. Okay. Put it in there. Somebody's got their mic open. Wayne, how you doing, sir? Wayne, your mic is open. Yeah, I can hear you now. What's up? You gotta get way closer to your phone. You're way in the background. Okay. Jacqueline says line 15. Well, actually, you're on line 13. There you are. You're on line 13. All right. It's line 13. Thank you, Jacqueline, for your answer, though. All right, Wayne, you have a question?
Yeah.
Go ahead, bud. Go ahead.
My example is, for example, my payment is $1,200 a month, right?
Right.
I pay an extra $1,200 to principal, but I was trying to double my payments, but then I realized the $1,200 includes interest and taxes. So basically,
that's right, Wayne. That's right.
Yeah, so my 1,200 extra that I'm paying, I'm not only making one payment, I pay more than one extra payment, right?
Yes.
So what am I doing right or wrong?
Okay. You're not doing anything wrong. You're doing what you know to do. You're doing what you know to do. Okay. Here is the next piece of this. When you pay money towards principal, you want to know exactly how much interest you are saving.
Right.
Okay. And you don't know that right now.
Exactly.
And if you don't know that, okay, if you don't know that right now, then you don't know when to pay the right amount of money so that you can save the most interest per dollar.
Right.
Okay. So let me ask you this. Wayne, do you like grapes?
Yeah.
Okay. If grapes are $9 a pound this week, are you buying grapes?
No.
Okay. So it matters how much stuff costs, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Then how come we're not told how much interest we're consuming each month to make it very clear that we can save the maximum amount of interest for every dollar I'm using? It matters how much you pay. It matters when you pay it. It matters which loan you apply it to.
Yeah.
Okay. So can I give you a quick example? Are you in a position where you can see my screen?
Yeah, I'm saying.
All right, great. So do you mind working with me on this?
Oh, no.
Okay. So I'm scrolling down here so we can see line 12 and we can see line 24. Are you seeing this on your screen?
Yes.
Okay. So now you can prepay any amount that you want, but let me ask you, if you had plenty of money in the bank, okay, plenty of money in the bank, would you like to prepay line 12 and knock out 12 payments, or line 24 where you're paying $8,841 to principal and knock out 24 payments? If you have plenty of money in the bank, which would you prefer?
The 24.
Why?
Well, I would be saving more interest and the principal would be
Okay.
lower.
All right. And so how much interest is that? I need you to tell everybody who's just listening.
I would be saving?
Yeah.
Well,
right here. I'm highlighting it for you.
Based upon your screen is 58,200.
Isn't that, listen, if you did it the bank's way, you would have given them that $58,000, wouldn't you?
Exactly.
If you give it that money to them early, that's 58,000 you could save, right?
Yes.
Let's see what happens when we figure out how much interest we're saving per dollar. Okay. I'm going to put my calculator on the screen. Okay. So if we prepay this, we save $29,000. So I'm going to put the $29,000. Okay. 29,264.83. Okay. Michelle Jarman says, this is awesome info. Okay. Thank you, Michelle. I see you there. All right. We appreciate you. Okay. So 264.83. All right. And we're going to divide it by how much you prepaid, which is 4266.41 equals 6.859. And since the third number is a 9, we round up the 5 to 6. $6.86 for every dollar. Listen, Wayne, isn't that good to know?
Sure.
I give the bank $1 on this loan when they're not expecting it. It makes it impossible for them to charge me $6.86 in interest. How valuable is my dollar now? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So if I give them $2, I save twice that much interest. $3, 3 times that much interest. That's when we find out that small amounts of money. This is what we're talking about, leverage here. We're going to get into leverage a little deeper. I'm leveraging small amounts of money to kill very large amounts of interest. The more interest I save, the more of my money goes to principal. okay, to pay down the loan. Right now,
Wow.
let's do line 24. Now, remember, we're saving $6.86 per dollar at this point. But if I go down to line 24, we're paid down to, we're going to save $58,221.23. But I got to prepay $8,841.25 at one time. Okay. So we're going to divide it by $8,841.25. Oops, clicked the wrong thing. 25 cents. There we go. Equals 6.851. What? No, 6.585. 6.585. So that's $6.59. $6.59 per dollar. So wait, let me ask you, if you had the ability to save $6.86 per dollar, should you ever accept $6.59?
No.
Okay. Why is that important? Don, it's not that much difference. Why is that important? Let me tell you why. It's called the law of diminishing return. The law of diminishing return. You need to know how to maximize each use of your dollar to kill the maximum amount of interest. And when you reach that point, don't put any more money into debt reduction, because now you start to lose money. Meaning, when you put too much money towards debt reduction, then you're not paying attention to the money you could invest and make more money. Let me tell you a little story. I've told this story before about a young man here in Huntsville, Alabama. That's where I'm from. That's where I live right now. And when he started our program some years ago, he's making more money now as an engineer than he's ever made in his life. So by plugging in the numbers into our opportunity cost calculator, and I'm going to put that on the screen in a little bit, into our opportunity cost calculator, that extra money, the calculator says now you're going to pay off the last $263,000 that you owe in only 3.5 years. How about that? Paying off a mortgage in 3.5 years instead of 30. And we also calculated how much interest he's going to pay, which is only $16,000 in interest instead of all the interest the bank was looking for. I told him, you're paying off the house too fast and you're not paying enough interest. He was floored. He says, I thought that was the idea. I was so happy to be out of debt in 3.5 years and only pay $16,000 in interest. I said, now I need you to go to your opportunity cost calculator. And while I'm talking, I'm going to put that on the screen. Okay. I want you to go to your opportunity cost calculator, and I need you to put in that you're making less money. That you're making $2,000 a month less. All right. And when he put that in, the calculator came back with new instructions. Okay. And the new instructions told him that now you're going to be out of debt in 6.5 years, not 3.5 years. The amount of interest you're going to pay is $20,000 in interest, not $16,000 in interest. And he said, well, Don, why would I do that? It's going to take me longer to get out of debt. Okay. Longer to get out of debt. And it's going to cost me more interest. Okay. That I'm putting this on the screen. This is the opportunity cost calculator that he used. Okay. This is our demo of the program. So I asked him, I said, it sounds like you want to get out of debt in 3.5 years. He says, yes. I said, what would you have to do? He says, I would have to go and put into my budget, put that $2,000 a month of income back in. All right. And so you would have to do that to get out of debt in 3.5 years. He says, yes. So that's 3 years. That's 36 months. Okay. And a half year. That's another 6 months. So that's a total of 42 months. You have to put that $2,000 a month back in. He says, yes. and I'll be out of debt in 3.5 years. And I said, okay, but that's 42 months times $2,000 a month. 42 months times $2,000 a month, that's $84,000 you're putting towards debt reduction so that you can go from $20,000 in interest paid down to $16,000 in interest paid. In other words, it's going to cost you $84,000 of your hard-earned dollars to save an additional $4,000 in interest. Is that how you want to spend your money? What do you think he said, Wayne? I got to spend $84,000 just to save an additional $4,000 in interest.
Wow.
Yeah. So now he figured I can take my $84,000 and put it in some sort of investment. I can make more than $4,000 than interest I could save. There's a point at which we have to stop throwing money at our loans. Okay. It's called the critical point analysis. What's the critical point where I'm putting enough money towards debt that makes sense, but not too much, where I'm not saving all that interest, and then I can take the rest of the money and put it into an investment? You know what he decided to do? He decided at that point to go and build his dream house. And this was a few years ago. 2021, I believe. All right. He built his dream house, $700,000. So he built that house. And now what he's doing is, instead of putting that extra money towards a house that was nearly that only took 3.5 years to pay off, he put a renter in that house, built a new house, and now both houses are going to be paid off in 10 years. The money he's putting towards his new house is saving him way more interest than it would if he was paying towards his old house. And does that mean he has more equity in both houses? Does that mean he has a greater investment? Does that mean when he's ready to sell his, right now, by the time that house was finished, it was actually worth $900,000. Isn't this? See, if you know how much money you're saving, then you can know how much money you could make if you invest. So for all you people that have heard, don't pay off a mortgage, invest the money. You are losing out on opportunities. That's called an opportunity cost question. For all of you people that have heard, you need to pay off that mortgage fast as you can, that's a mistake. What you need is a balanced approach. How much money of my money should go to principal and interest to pay off the mortgage and to pay off all my debt, and how much should go to should I start investing with right away, so you can grow your net worth exponentially faster. Folks, does this make sense to you? Why we need to leverage and see how much money we're. So Wayne, does that answer your question there?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I after listening to you over a period of time,
Yeah.
I I called my mortgage company the other day to ask a question, but then I remember someone I asked for what you call it, amortization schedule.
Yes.
So they emailed it to me, but basically what I was seeing is just similar to your screen earlier.
Uh-huh.
But all I know is that my principal was lower every year.
Right.
You know, every month I could see the principal being lower, but
Mhm.
I don't know how much interest I was saving, you know what I mean?
And that's going to be key to you getting out of debt. Let me show you what these folks here are doing. I need you to show, this is John and Rebecca Jones. Look at this. They know up front how much interest they're going to save over time, $194,205. And by knowing this, that this is money in interest they won't have to pay, they're going to be out of debt in 5.8 years. We can also change this to see how much interest they have left to pay. Okay. So they only have $42,000 in interest left to pay, and they're saving $194,000. So by using our system and working with one of the P.I.L.L method coaches, we can help you to tailor this system so it's doing what you want it to do, as far as how fast do I want to pay off the debt and how soon do I want to start investing and getting ready for retirement. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you want to know how to get your own opportunity cost calculator, let me stop right here and tell you, first of all, you need to know how much interest you have left to pay and how much interest we can save you. And what you need is a savings and earnings report. You can go to ICE10K.com. Okay. I'm putting it in the chat. ICE, ICE. It stands for Interest Cancellation Expert. Okay. ICE, the number 10, the letter K.com. There it is. ICE10K.com. All right. We're going to put that on the screen. ICE10K.com. And when that comes up, this is our digital business card. When it comes up, there's 3 videos here that you can watch. The first one is E.T., the hip hop preacher who paid off his mortgage in record time with the P.I.L.L method. And there's a little video of him saying that. And then you scroll down and it says underneath this picture, it says, get a savings and earnings report. I need you to see this right now. Get your free savings report. It's free. It's free. It's free. You can know the month, day, and year you can be debt free and how much interest you can save by filling out this. And our team will take it and prepare for you. Okay. Here's what they're going to prepare for you. It's called a savings report. Here's what I have on my screen, a savings report. This person had $390,000 left on their mortgage. They had loans adding up to over $7,700 and credit cards, $18,000 in credit card debt, okay? Totaling $416,000 in money that they owed. Here's the killer. The bank wanted them to pay $163,000, okay, of interest on those loans and take 27 years to pay it off. By working with us, by letting us do this for them, they got to see that instead of giving the bank $163,000 in interest, they're only going to give the bank $41,000 in interest. That's saving $122,000 in interest they don't have to pay. And they're going to be done with all of their debt, not just the mortgage, but all of their debt in 7.6 years. So by optimizing, by learning how to leverage correctly, they can save $122,000, and by only paying $41,000, we can figure what's called effective interest rate. Effective interest rate. What does that mean? That means with the interest you will pay, what interest rate would you have to have had from the bank to only pay $41,000 in interest on all of your loans instead of $163,000? We do that calculation for you. And here is the answer. 0.64%. That is the interest you would have to pay $41,000 in interest on this loan instead of $163,000. Where have you ever heard of getting an interest rate on credit cards, on the car loans, on the mortgage of less than 1%? When you learn how to optimize your interest savings, when you learn how to use our opportunity cost calculator, you can save this kind of interest, and it's a lifetime program. You can use it for mortgage after mortgage after mortgage, especially if you're a real estate investor. What do you think about that, sir?
That's great.
All right. Do you have any other questions for me? Because I know Ken wants to say something.
No, that was it for me.
Thank you very much. Ken, what do you have in your PTR, man? What do you have there?
I got my book signed by John Daniels himself.
So you got a book, all right? How much did you pay for that book, Ken?
$0.99.
$0.99. It was free 99 because see, Ken asked a question. We were doing something before, and Ken asked a question on one of my programs when I said, if you ask a question, the first 5 people to ask a question, I'll send them a book. And Ken, you got your book signed by me. Look at that. So,
And it cost $5.
okay. All right, you're in the matrix, Ken.
So I appreciate
Ken,
it.
you're in the matrix. Try one more time. Okay, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Nope, you're still in the matrix. Wait till you get a better signal, okay? All right, he's going to go out and come back in. All right, folks, listen, come to the stage. All right, does anybody else on the stage have a question or a comment about any of this that you're learning today? Because I'm going to get in a little deeper. All right, I've got about 25 minutes left. I'm going to get in a little deeper on leverage here using the opportunity cost calculator, okay? Anybody got any questions, any comments? Come to the stage, people. Come to the stage right now. And if you want to see this, go to the link at the top of the page, and with your go to YouTube and search P.I.L.L method, and you can see these numbers right away. Now, this is just one client who got a savings and earnings report. What about commercial clients? If you are a real estate investor, here's what we did for a real estate investor. $2 million in commercial loans. Okay, $2.2 million in commercial loans. The bank wanted them to pay $1,123,000 in interest on this commercial loan. And do you know why this guy didn't care before he read my book? He didn't care because he's bringing in rents of on average $57,000 a month, but his payments are only $14,696 a month. So he didn't care until I showed him how much interest he was actually paying. Now, by using our opportunity cost calculator, he can take his interest from $1,123,000 down to only $231,000, and that he has an effective interest rate of 0.67. Okay, we're saving him $891,000 that he will not have to pay the bank. And if anybody's wondering how much he had to pay for this program, it's all coming out of money that no longer goes to the bank. We get a very small percentage of the $891,000 he's saving. He's no longer giving the bank. And it's a lifetime program. He only pays for it once. So he can put it on his next property, on his next property, on his next property. It's a lifetime program with customer service included. Oh, my goodness. So pay for the thing one time out of money that you're no longer giving the bank. In other words, it's free to you, but it costs the bank. Free to you, costs the bank. If we're gonna charge anybody something, let's charge the bank. What do you guys say to that? What do you guys say to that? All right. Now, not only that, but the money he's no longer giving the bank over the next 17 years, he can turn that into an extra $9 million. We show that as well. How much money you can save and how much money you can make. That's why we call it a savings and earnings report. Okay. All right. So, Ms. Q, how much is the percentage you charge? Listen, I can't get into all of that right now because everybody's a little bit different. We have a formula that creates how much each person pays so that it can be fair. Because if you have a like $80,000 in student loans, you don't want to pay the same thing as a person who has $2 million in debt. So here's what I'm going to ask you to do. Start watching more of our videos. You do not want to make a decision on this based on cost anyway. You want to know the difference between cost and price. Cost and price. Price is what we charge. Cost is what you're saving, or if you don't do the program, what you're paying. So if the price is less than the cost or the benefit, there is no cost to you. You really don't, it doesn't really matter what we charge. What really matters is how much is the bank charging you, and you don't have to pay it. Fill out the savings and earnings report. And once you do that, it will generate a cost for you. And that's the best I can tell you. But you can get the savings and earnings report for free. How about that? All right. There you go. Miss Q, that's the best answer I can give. But what you really want to know is all the features that come with the program so that you can level up your finances using artificial intelligence. Nothing on the planet beats this program. Nothing. And not only that, but we will guarantee your results. So whatever you pay for the program, if the program doesn't work, we have to give you your money back, and we put it in writing. So this guy says, listen, I can pay off my $2 million if I wanted to, not in 21 years, but in 4.9. What? Yes, in 4.9 years, saving all this interest, and he's going to pay off his loans like this, not like it over here in the red, because this is what he was doing before. On this side in the blue, where he's going to be done in 1, 2, 3, 4, and then he starts making money here. So if I can show him how to make $9 million instead of giving the bank $1 million in interest, do you think he really cares how much I charged him to do it? I don't think so. Okay, there you go. All right, folks. Any other questions? Any other comments before we get into this thing a little bit deeper? Okay, let's go back to the opportunity cost calculator. Ken, I
got a comment.
Okay, who is that?
It's Sobe.
Sobe, come on, man. Come on with your comment.
Hey, been listening to you for a long time, and went ahead to purchase a home here recently.
Yes.
And I did something that you had suggested.
What's
which
that?
I think you're going to bring up soon.
Yeah.
Instead of putting the down payment before the loan, I put it in afterwards, which saved me
how much?
A lot.
A lot.
In terms of interest paid.
Yes.
And then it really brought down the amount of years that it would have taken me.
Yes.
To about 10 years, just by making that one move.
What? You started out with a 30-year mortgage?
Yeah.
And you put the money that would have gone to a down payment, you made a prepayment with it.
Yep.
Saved you a ton.
Yep.
How about that? So something you learned online actually does work. All right, Sobe. Listen, thank you for that. All right, thank you for that. Listen, folks, another satisfied person who's getting pill method information and making it work for them. So Sobe, if you want to know how to optimize your interest savings so that you're not paying too much at the wrong time, you still want to contact us. Especially if what are your plans for the future? Are you getting into real estate investing at all or anything like that?
Yes, sir. Looking to do it again.
All right. Well, you want to do it the right way. You want to put the right amount of money at the right time. The information that I'm giving here is general information. General information. Dave Ramsey gives general information. Susie Orman gives general information. The Pill Method gives specific information that is tailored for your situation and only your situation. So we want to save you the maximum amount of interest so that you can buy more property for the least amount of money possible. And it takes a ton of math to do that. So if you want our help, we'll be glad to give it to you. So contact us, okay? He says, all right. All right, folks. Listen, I got a few minutes left here. I got about 15 minutes left. Let me show you how we use our opportunity cost calculator here. I'm going to reset it here, okay? We're going to reset this account. And there we go. And this is John and Rebecca Jones. That's their names, John and Rebecca Jones. And the reason why we picked those two names because
Hi, John.
yes, who is that?
Yeah, one and only. I wasn't here that day for that information. So after you done going over the opportunity cost calculation, can you share that with us again?
What's that?
You share. Will you share with Sophie? Then
Oh, okay.
what you call it, your down payment, yes.
All right. Listen.
And does it only apply to first-time home buyers?
No, it does not. I'm going to show you right now. How about that? Listen, folks, when you ask a question, I love it when people ask questions. Okay. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. Okay. We're going to take a look at, okay, let's get rid of this one. We're going to use our same mortgage here. This, our 420,000 at 7%. Okay. Let's say we put down the minimum to get into the loan. Okay. That's already done. We don't want to put it down any extra. So let's just say we want to get this thing down to, if we pay the bank another 20%, we don't have to pay PMI. Okay. Okay. So we're going to get it down. We're going to give the bank another 20%. So if we $420,000, 420,000, and we're going to multiply that by 20%, okay, equals $84,000. So we can put $84,000 on this. We can avoid PMI. How about that one and only? So the down payment would be another 84,000. Okay. All right. So let's take a look at that. So we're going to put in, let's see, minus 420,000. Okay. Equals 336,000. All right. So we're going to put in 336,000 instead. 336,000. Okay. At 7%. Here is our new payment. Okay. We've avoided PMI. We don't have PMI now. And our payment is $22.35 as opposed to $27.94 with no extra down payment. So let's take a look and do some comparisons between these two loans. Okay. Yep. He says, that's what I did and removed PMI. All right. So watch this. Watch this now. All right. 336,000. My payment is $22.35. The amount of interest that the bank wants now is $468,751.20. All right. Let me move these over here so I don't get confused. All right. And if I keep the other loan, watch this. It's $585,000. Look at this. 468,000, 585,000 if I put $83,000 down. All right. So one and only, are you all caught up now? Do you see the difference between the two?
Yep.
Okay. Now, what he did was he didn't give the bank the $83,000 up front. So he can have a $336,000 loan. What he did was give me the $420,000, and that means his what was it, 84,000? Yeah, $84,000 he still has in his pocket. So let us do this. Let's go to the loan here. And do you see where it says cumulative principal? This is what he did. With his first payment, he took that money and applied it to principal. And this is what it did. In this case, on this mortgage is 84,000. I don't know what he did, how much it was for him, but in this case, 20%. It's 84,000. Let's see what it would do. Let's scroll down. If you want to see these numbers, go to YouTube. The link is at the top. I'm scrolling down to $84,000. Uh-oh. Keep going. This is 7 years off already. 84,000. We're still going. We're still scrolling. $84,000 right around here. This is $83,851.35. Okay. There's our $336,000 loan. And this takes you all the way down to line 152 on the amortization schedule. That means 152 payments are gone immediately, divided by 12. This would take off over 12 and a half years by taking that money and using it as a prepayment instead of a down payment. Now, the only difference is if I put it as a down payment, I don't have to pay PMI. That's the only difference. But if I use it as a prepayment, I do have to pay PMI for 1 month. And then I can have it taken off. Sobe, is that what you did?
Oh, I'll give you a interesting step.
Come on, man, talk to me.
You have about a month and a half or so before your mortgage kicks in.
Yeah.
You can make a prepayment in that time.
Yes, you can.
Then that means you don't have to pay PMI for the first month.
Wow. Did you look at that? Folks, let me listen. Here's what he's saying. You know that time frame when you first get the mortgage and they say, "Oh, you closed now, but you don't owe a mortgage payment for next month." That doesn't mean that time frame is free. You're being charged interest on those days. Please don't think it's free. What he did was he prepaid in that time, that space between when he closed and when the first payment was due. And by prepaying that, he didn't even have to pay PMI even on the first payment. He had it removed right away by making a prepayment instead of a down payment. Now, I want to show you the difference between the two loans. On this one, we have $336,000. Okay, $336,000. We start out on payment number 1 with $336,000. The other thing is we still have a $336,000 loan, but we've already taken off 12 years off a 30-year loan by using that money as a prepayment instead of a down payment. What do you think, one and only?
Good. But my question is,
Yes.
when you made the payment and then within 4 weeks to make your first mortgage payment, how fast was the process to remove that PMI? Doesn't it take longer than 4 weeks for them to go through all documentations, do the assessment, and remove it?
Let me ask you a question. If you, by prepaying this on this loan, this person would save $340,000 in interest they never have to pay. Do I really care how long it takes to remove a PMI for like $160? Do I really care?
Makes sense.
See, we focus on the wrong things at the wrong times. Okay. But we've never been taught to focus on how much interest we could eliminate from our loans. This person is going to eliminate $340,000 in interest they'll never have to pay. And they're going to do it by making one payment in 1 month. Money that they already had, that everybody in the world is saying use that money as a down payment and not a prepayment. Lord have mercy. How about that? Okay. One and only, did that answer your question?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh
And
my.
you mentioned this is not only for this process not only for first home buyer, right?
This is for the rest of your life.
But okay.
It is learning how to borrow money at a discount. Okay. So when do you like bargain shopping?
Do I like what?
Bargain shopping. When you buy stuff, you go and do you buy clothes at retail or do you buy them on sale?
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter to you. Okay. Do you like do you like paying less for something that costs a lot more?
I mean, yeah, everybody loves sales.
Everybody loves sales. Okay. So what I'm teaching you is how to put your money on sale. And you are in control. How would you like to borrow money for the rest of your life at 75% off? You can do that using this system. Go to ice10k.com, folks, ice10k.com, and get a savings and earnings report. All right. Now, for everybody who owes at least $100,000 in debt, this is only for those, this is an offer I'm getting ready to make. If you have at least $100,000 in debt, okay, then do this. Fill that out today. If we receive an accurate and complete request for a savings and earnings report, then we will gift you our first consultation, which is $150. You will not have to pay. You can get a consultation with me for free if you fill that out today completely and accurately and fully. Don't, if your mortgage is $300,400.27, I need all of that. Okay. Don't round stuff off. Give us exact interest rates, all of that. Give us what we're asking for. If you have it completed today, when it's time to meet to go over it, we will not charge you the $150 for the consultation. Now, we only started charging the consultation because people would make appointments and then miss their appointment. If we give you a free appointment and you miss it, you will pay the $150 to get another one. I'm going to let you know that. Okay. So if we give you a free appointment, don't miss it. Okay. Because next time you will be charged. Most of our clients pay off all of their debt in an average of 7 to 9 years. Okay. An average of 7 to 9 years. Folks, I want to thank everybody for being here today. All right. Jonathan Bing, I'm glad you're here today. Ken, thank you for coming in. AK, thanks for coming to the stage. Don, you came to the stage. Yanni, you came to the stage. Sobi, one and only. Kiri, and one and only your sister was here for a time. I appreciate you inviting her. And son, thank you very much for being here today. Listen, next week, we will not be here. There will be a replay on YouTube next week because I'm going to be on a cruise. Okay. I will be on a cruise next week. All right. So we will have a replay on YouTube and on YouTube and Facebook and LinkedIn. All there will be replays, but it's still good information. It's still good information. And then we'll be back the week after to go over. All right. Let me put it on the screen. Let me put it on the screen when we come back. Okay. Today was leverage. And next week, in 2 weeks, we'll be going over liquidity. P.I.L.L method presents liquidity, and we're going to understand how money works from that level. All of your money works for you, ladies and gentlemen, all of it. Okay. And we're going to show you how we have been taught to look at our money incorrectly. So it costs us more money to do things when it should be costing us less, by probably doing exactly the opposite of what the experts are teaching. Thank you so much for being with me today. We're getting ready to get out of here. And don't forget, get a savings and earnings report. Go to ice10k.com. I also need your help. Go to ice10k.com and become an affiliate. All right. You can make between $300 and $3,000 a month becoming a P.I.L.L method affiliate. Fill that portion out as well. And get my book. Get my book from Amazon. There's a link there to go and get the book. So get the book, get your free savings and earnings report. Okay. If you have at least $100,000 in debt, and we will be back in 2 weeks. Okay. So let me take this off the screen. All right. We'll take that off. And let me see here. There we go. All right.
Quick question for you.
Go right. Quick question.
Should we be getting that email for the earnings and savings report quickly, or just wait on it?
No, you don't. It doesn't come right away. Here's what's going to happen. You will fill that out. Then one of my assistants will give you a call and confirm the information, because we want to make sure it's right. We will confirm the information. And once it's confirmed, our assistant will go over the results with you and then email it out to you if you want it. Okay, because you can know right on the phone what the results are. And if you want it, we'll email it to you. If you want to go over it with me and become part of the P.I.L.L method family, then she'll set up a consultation. Okay.
Gotcha.
And the consultation, if you get it in today, the consultation is free. All righty. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for today. All right. So next week, in 2 weeks, we'll be back to cover liquidity. That's the last L in P.I.L.L method. And I want to thank you very much for being here. So we're going to say goodbye right now, but don't forget, get a savings and earnings report, ice10k.com, get everything you need right there. All right. We'll see you in 2 weeks.